Wow, this is actually impressive. I'm glad that I decided to hit record, but I thought about something yesterday, or was it this morning? I thought about how our life is like a 750,000 blank page canvas, and our role is to the beauty about our canvas, and here's the thing: as humans, we start off with, again, 735,000 pages to absolutely go ham and do whatever it is that you want to do. The only thing is that the first pages, the introduction to that book, usually starts off with a theme, a story, a background that isn't part of your creation. I'm not gonna say it's not valid, or it's not, or your origin is not a part of you, because it is. But we have a blank slate. Well, we have our environment and everything that we see, images that we get from the environment we're in as we're young, the TV, the television, the advertisements that we're exposed to, all that shit. It creates pictures in our open canvas, so we start filling up some of the pages. I think one of the biggest lessons, that if you could take one thing away from my nonsense, is this: is at some point you gotta realize that it's up to you to continue drawing. And here's the crazy part: if you don't pick up the fucking pen or the color pencil, it's not like nothing's being drawn in your canvas. Like, you still have stuff that is being written, and it's up to you as an individual to start adding some of your creativity in the picture. You may not have the whole page, but you definitely need to put your signature on that motherfucker, and do it now. Don't think about results. Don't think about, oh, it doesn't match up to somebody else's canvas. You gotta realize, man, they've been working on it. They had a different starting point. They've been working on it. They've had time to evaluate. They've had criticisms. You're looking at their first fucking first book while you're still on your first page, So be thoughtful about that stuff as you make progress in life. Just know it's up to you. Nobody's gonna come help you. The whole savior mentality, that is poison to the soul. Not because of it. Cool, the entity is nice, it's all loving and giving and caring and all this lovey-dovey stuff, but from a psychological point of view, from a man's perspective, that mentality is not gonna get you anything you want in life. Period. You don't fuck who you believe in, all that waiting and praying and holding and all that bullshit. You keep doing that. While you're doing that, somebody else is over here mastering their works and just taking full advantage of the market and taking care of market share. They're taking over market share. They're growing companies, building families. Man, there's so much growth going on, but a lot of people don't see it because they're stuck in the mentality of poverty, and that's me. Like, there's so much prosperity around me, but me as a human, I can't see it because I'm not experiencing it. Like, I see it enough to where I can point it out and say, damn, that would be a good opportunity to jump on. But I haven't gotten to the point that allows me to actually profit from practical application and profit from opportunities that I've seen. Like, I've seen properties that I'm like, damn, man, that's a nice little quad or a duplex. I'm like, shit, in a decent area. I wouldn't mind, if I knew how, I wouldn't mind either transacting on the selling a contract or something with that motherfucker. Cash flow, put it in my portfolio. You know, but there's stuff you need to know. You can't just put that shit in your portfolio, and if you do, you gotta make sure you cover the expenses, and if it's not rented out, you know, you gotta make sure you can cover that shit. If not, then they're gonna take it from you. You know, it's just a lot of stuff that, again, is doable, but you need to know how to do it. And I'll leave you with this. This is a lesson I learned recently. It was from Alex. He said, you know, rich dads, they teach their sons to invest their time early on into high leveraged opportunities. Right? So a lot of times, at least me, I'll give the first time my advice, you know, when I was being told how I should approach life and shit, it was about, oh, you want to pay your cell phone bill, you got to work a job. You know what I mean? So it was a way to get me to start paying for what is it that I wanted, and just kind of remove that expense off of somebody else, which is thoughtful and good. I'm not mad at it, but I think it would have been more effective if they took it a step further and said, yeah, this is temporary, this is for your immediate expenses, but be very thoughtful of what you want to do outside of these immediate expenses. So yeah, you're working for this, but if you want to work for things you want, that's actually a message that I heard. It's like, if you want to work, if you want your shit, you got to work hard for it, which is cool, but I think that shit is such a poisoning foundation or message. Is a poisoning message, because work, yes, I think we have to get smarter at communicating what work is. We got to define work, and we can't just assume that telling somebody work hard is going to be their solution, because that's bullshit. Working hard is not the solution. That's not it. My fucking eye is twitching. I'm working hard. I'm working every goddamn day. You know, I say every day. I gotta stop saying that. I work 6 days a week. I'm not working crazy hours by choice, because I noticed it wasn't leading me to anything. I had to slow it down, and the little time that I backed up gave me a little extra time to start building. Initially, I didn't do shit, but eventually I started to just kind of start building on my own. And in fact, if you want to see some of the work that I've been on, go ahead and click the link below, the first link. The second one is going to be a course that teaches you the process on how to start making money online. All right, I want you to go into that course with the mentality of, you know what, I'm stacking skill sets, kind of like Alex Hormozi talks about. A lot of times we learn a skill set, we don't succeed in that skill set, and we think, oh, fuck it, we go to something else. But if we go in it with the right mindset and say, you know, I haven't made it, I failed, it's been 3, 4, 5 months since I've been at it with this, but wait, what did I learn? And when you realize it, when you ask yourself these quality questions, you realize, holy shit, I just picked up on a skill set that, yeah, I may not have made money doing it for myself, but the skill set is sellable. I could do it for somebody else in the meantime. I can create an asset based off the service. So that's just one way to look at it. Another clarity, I'm gonna end it at 10, but I'm gonna end it at 10 minutes. But another aha moment that I had, and I'll speak on this a little more later on. But for a long time, I kept thinking about, you know, business, and the one thing that kept hindering me is leverage and the initial startup cost. And that's only true if you're limited to the knowledge that you have. So you're only thinking about specific business models. You're thinking about business models that require you to have an asset which generates that, whether it's a brick and mortar or real estate or maybe getting a truck. All that requires you to get an asset, which usually requires you to invest a decent amount up front. So that understanding, that young mind understanding, not really knowing about leverage or knowing how to use it, hindered me. But today or yesterday I had a thought, I was like, well, in the service industry, you're limited, because the only thing that's holding you back is something that you could actually change, right? So if you are in that position, if you're like, okay, if you fall into the excuse, if this excuse lines up with you, you know, I can't, if you say, oh, I can't get a truck because I can't get the down payment. Okay. So what you're saying is, okay, you don't have the money up front. So now what you should be doing is figuring out a skill set that you could learn and do, and particularly in this case, it could be in the industry that you plan on getting into. So if it's trucking, let's keep it congruent. You could develop a skill set in the trucking industry and then provide that service for somebody else. You could offer to do that for somebody else. Maybe it's booking loads. So it's a win-win. You're learning how to book loads and you're doing it for somebody else and making money in the process. And while you're making money, you can start generating additional income, building a skill set, and build income as you get closer towards buying that truck. That also may put you in a position of connecting with somebody that could actually help you leverage and get that truck through a partnership. You know what I mean? So this learning from Alex Hormozi, one of the biggest lessons that I learned out of him is changing, like it's only the beginning phase, but the biggest thing is taking my mentality out of thinking about the money. Like, it's crazy, but stop thinking about it because it really is nothing. There's some lessons that he said, there's some stuff that he said that I can't really communicate it, but the lesson was internalized, and now it's just a matter of it growing and me, remembering that lesson and putting it in front of me more and more. But as I said, I'm going to stop at 10, continue growing, keep making this money. And remember, we are one. If you have any questions, send me an email, hourtheta, OURTHETA, hourtheta@gmail.com, or you can send me an email at bison, BIISON, bison@masteracquisition.com. Send me an email at bison@masteracquisition.com. If you have any questions on how is it that you want to start generating income, maybe you've gone through a couple of courses, maybe you're already aware of asset classes available in the market. I don't know what the case may be, but hit me up if you have any questions on how is it, depending if you're stuck on something, maybe you're in the process that you got stuck along the way, hit me up, let me know, and we'll help you according to what you're in need of. Stay strong, and remember, we are one.